evening again, everybody, and welcome back after a 2-week hiatus. We are back here on Tailgate Talk, Nebraska. With us as always, he lost a bet wearing his Oregon jersey, Brian Denton out in Colorado. Oh, you didn't lose a bet?
No.
With us here, Brian Cook, former sportscaster around this area, and thinks he knows a lot about sports, but he is at the bottom of our pick and pool in college sports right now. Jeff Green, our host here, and my name is Derek Long. We'll be bringing you an hour's worth of college pro football. And guys, we're going to kick this off. First off, college football, we are down to 4. The final 4. This is the final 4 for March Madness. We're at the final 4 for January Madness or December Madness, whatever you want to call it. At the beginning of the year, could you have picked these 4 teams, guys?
No.
No, not even close.
I mean, maybe
Maybe
the way
Oregon.
the game started off, the way the season started, maybe Miami. We talked about them being a good team at the beginning of the year. They faltered halfway between. They went out and made Ohio State look bad. I mean, they really did. Ohio State never really was in that game. Is that kind of how you guys feel on that one?
Absolutely. Ohio State was chasing them the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, Sayan has looked good all year, Brian, and he looked like a true freshman in that game, playing his first game ever.
Yeah, Miami just took charge of that game all the way around. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought Ohio State would handle them pretty easy, but I would say I was very surprised by that game. I didn't expect that at all. Miami's a wild card in this. Who knows what's going to happen now?
Now, before we go any further, I know you guys have been watching bowl games. Have you seen the Dr. Pepper commercial with, the state and all that stuff, where the one guy's like, hey, let's flip over to the Western game. And everybody's like, you got a side team. You seen that one?
Yes.
Okay, that's Jeff with Ohio State. Anyway, every time I see that commercial, I'm sitting there imagining we're watching a Nebraska game with Jeff, and he's like, hey, can you guys flip over to the Ohio State game real quick? They got an exciting defense. Am I wrong?
You are. You're
Oh,
way
okay.
wrong.
Okay. I was just wondering.
I do have a side team. It's just not Ohio State.
Who is it?
Nope.
Closet Texas fan.
That is not happening.
Well, I know it's not Texas or Colorado or Michigan.
You're
I
on the
got
right track.
3 there
You're
that
on
I'm
the right
right. But let's move on, guys. Oregon dismantled Texas Tech. Everybody, last year Arizona State came into this tournament and everybody thought they were not a good team. They took Texas to the wire last year. Everybody thought Texas Tech was, head and shoulders above these other teams. And Oregon just,
did you see that play where Oregon's linebacker came around and he went back like this and he grabbed the ball right out of his hand and just stole it?
Yeah.
It looked like a Statue of Liberty play going the wrong way.
Yeah.
That explained how the whole game went for Texas Tech.
Yeah.
They could that Oregon defense was too fast, too physical,
Yeah.
and they weren't getting any separation and they weren't getting any time to get downfield.
Yep.
Texas Tech game was about long balls and getting turnovers.
Yeah.
Oregon didn't turn the ball over, and their defense controlled the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Jacob Rodriguez, who won the Butkus Award this year as the best linebacker for Texas Tech, really wasn't wasn't a big factor in that game. He had a few tackles here and there, but nothing major.
But Oregon didn't even press on offense.
No.
They ran their base offense, just kind of ball control,
Mm-hmm.
make sure they didn't make any major mistakes. They were on cruise mode.
Mm-hmm. Now, classic we had. Yes, Brian.
I think that just showed how much of a gap there is between the Big 12 and the Big 10.
Yeah.
And Oregon didn't play a good game by any means.
When you got the worst team out of the Big 10 playing the best team out of the Big 12.
That's exactly what we had.
No, but let's go on. What a classic we had New Year's Day night, Georgia, Ole Miss. I mean,
What a game.
that was, whether you're a fan of either team or just love college football or football in general. And
Or
you
just a
watch that
casual
game,
fan. My wife sat down and watched the whole second half
Yeah.
and on. Not because she wanted to, because once she sat down and kind of watched a little bit, she couldn't go to the room to watch her cooking shows.
Yep.
She had to finish watching.
And Brian,
Third best bowl game I've ever seen. There's two other ones that were better. Nothing ever will beat Boise State and Choklahoma on the Statue of Liberty Parade, the hook and ladder. Boise State, Choklahoma, number one in my books of all-time bowl games. The second one, Vince Young in Texas, upsetting
Stop it.
USC.
That was not an upset. They were favored by one.
But it
That was
was
a pick'em game.
it was a good game, though.
But it
Great
wasn't an
game.
upset.
It was a great game.
And it was supposed to be a great game.
Yeah.
They were both two overrated teams that got lucky to get into the national championship. They had a class of people sitting in a room like this and say, hey, we're going to let these two play each other for a national championship. We're going to leave Notre Dame, who only had one loss against Michigan, out. We're going to just take them and say, no, they don't deserve it, even though they would have destroyed either one of those teams.
I disagree.
Oh, stop
The
it.
components for USC
Side
and
team.
Texas.
Side team?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
No.
He's a whining
hatred
Irish.
for the teams that went there.
But they
Vince-
were both undefeated.
Vince Young in Texas did not deserve to be there, even though they were undefeated. They played nobody. They played nobody to get there. And then they played an overrated USC team. I mean, that team was so overrated that they took their best player and benched him and run White instead of putting Reggie into the game. I mean, it was
White wasn't
It was
bad.
a
Lendl
great
was
bowl
decent when he
game.
was.
A great
it
bowl
was
game.
a great bowl game.
It was.
It was a good bowl game.
Anyhow,
The Ohio State, Miami, that was a great bowl game. What was that, 81, 82, somewhere in there?
2000.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
2000,
that's 81.
I'm sorry, 2000 with Ken and that was
That's
a great bowl game.
Willis McGahee, he blew his knee out.
And then that decided the game.
Yeah.
But up until that point, that game was.
And who was the big running back from Ohio State that got in trouble?
Clement. Clement.
Right from it. Yep.
Clorat. Maurice Clorat.
There you go.
Okay, Claret. Yeah.
But there's so many bowl games that are right above that.
All right, let's get back on
All right,
track here.
sorry. Gotta stop.
Ole Miss, Georgia, Brian, and Trinidad Chambliss. I probably wasn't a household name before last week. Now he is. Do you agree?
Yeah. Great name too. I mean, Trinidad Chambliss. That just goes with any sport. If he had been a golfer, that'd been like Tiger Woods.
Yeah, coming out of Division II, also, and then he was on the sidelines asking his coaches updates on a score of his old team, who was playing in the playoffs down in Division II, trying to find out what it was. And then the fourth game we had last week was Indiana, the only undefeated team left this year. Basically, I mean, Nick Saban had to have shut that game off at the end of the first quarter or halftime at least. Don't you agree?
You know how frustrating that should be as an Alabama fan. I mean, you feel like you're finally getting traction back now that Nick Saban's gone. You're finally getting your team back. And you go in there and face this Indiana team that, I mean, it's Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, you're literally getting bullied
Mm-hmm.
on national television.
By the Hoosiers.
It was a bad look. But then on the other hand, Indiana is good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a for real team, despite it has Indiana written on their uniform.
I mean, if you put all of those players and Signotti on any sideline right now, that's the team we'd be talking about, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean,
no matter what was written across their.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Indiana football. It has nothing to do with anything. That is all Kurt Signotti and what he has done the last 2 years. I mean, he came in last year. Look what he did. He took them to the playoffs.
Yeah, what an amazing turnaround.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy comes in and he brought 2 and 3 star players with him
From James Madison.
filled in a couple out of the portal,
Mm-hmm.
and he instantly went to the playoffs. And then you got this sad show going on over here in Nebraska where slow burn, trust the process. This guy comes in and does it in 2 years.
Bill Callahan was supposed to do that, wasn't he?
But
Oh,
now,
yes.
now, Indiana did give him the money.
They did.
Day one,
Right.
he got $40 million to go
But-
fill out his roster.
Let's talk about this. 2 and 3 star recruits is what he brought in, right?
That's what he brought in.
Okay. I'm going to go back to a former Nebraska coach who recently got fired a few years ago and what he did down in Central Florida with 2 and 3 star recruits. The thing about it is, if you have a coach, which once Frost got here, I don't think he really cared because he was home. He thought he was untouchable here because of who he was and what he did here. Signotti, I guarantee you, if you walked into the locker room and asked those guys, would you run through a brick wall for that coach? Every one of them would be like, hell yes, I will. You know, that's what he brings. He brings that presence. He brings that demeanor to him that those guys are going to do whatever they can for that man.
Stagnetti wasn't done just because he got the job.
No. No.
Scott Frost was done because he got his dream job.
Right.
He didn't have to win a national championship with them because the job was the goal.
Yeah.
Stagnetti, the job wasn't to go into Indiana. Has never been in his dreams
Yeah.
of where he wanted to end up. Where he wanted to end up is in that ring, so that he can say he won a national championship. And we'll see how it goes after. If he gets that ring, how it'll be afterwards. But right now, not to quote a movie, but he's got eye of the tiger.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hungry.
Yes, Brian.
The crazy part is, as rounded as Indiana is, and they have by far the best resume in college football. By far the best resume. They've beaten, I think that was 3 of the final 12 teams in the playoff in the season. They're like, it's crazy. There's still people that don't.
Did they do Ohio State and Oregon on the road? Both of them?
Ohio State was neutral. That was a Big Ten championship game.
Well,
Yeah, but they did beat Oregon on the road though.
Yeah.
You know, so but the crazy part is there's still people out there that don't believe in Indiana. Like, what is wrong with you?
But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Take the uniform off. Put no
Yeah.
markings on the uniform. It's a white helmet, white jerseys, white pants, no markings on them.
Penn
And
State.
you watch that team, you're going to say, wow, they're going to be a contender for the national title. That's,
If that jersey said Alabama, they would say that this is the best team ever played.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It'll be in that talk.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be in that talk.
Yep.
But, before we get overzealous about how good Indiana is, let's let them try to finish this out.
Yeah.
I mean, they got beat Oregon. It's hard to beat a team twice in the same year.
It is.
And Oregon's got a great coach. Not much a great team, but they got a great coach.
Yeah.
They got a good team.
Dan Lanning is a good coach.
Let's see if he's definitely a good coach. I think this is far from his best team that he's
Talk
got.
about a coach that every player would run through a wall for him. That is Dan Lanning.
That's because he ate them before he ran through the wall.
Tom Osborne, Bo Schembechler, Barry Switzer, Hayden Fry, Kurt Ferentz, Woody Hayes, Bear Bryant, Nick Saban, they all got something in common. They were players, coaches, that the players would run through walls for these guys here.
Yes. We have young coaches coming up with those degrees, with that happening now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have people we've never heard of, like Sigget. We didn't know him 4 years ago.
What about Mario Cristobal down in Miami?
Exactly.
Exactly. And he's young. I mean, he almost looks like he could play still.
That's why.
Hey, by the way,
What?
By the way, did you see the interview that they had Lanning and Signetti? They were talking about stuff, and they were talking about Oregon, because Oregon's got 3 players leaving for the transfer portal in the middle of the playoffs, which I think is ridiculous. However, but Lanning said that if he had to, he would suit up and play the position. And Signetti laughed. But that's the type of guy Dan Lanning is.
Oh yeah.
Is like he's a player's coach for sure.
Yep. Well, two good games. One tomorrow night. Miami Ole Miss tomorrow night. Friday night you've got Indiana and Oregon, and we're going to see who's going to play for the national title. Next week we'll be able to break that one down a little bit more on the national title game, which will be held a week from next Monday.
I do think we'll be looking at Ole Miss and Indiana.
I would agree. That's what I'm rooting for anyway.
Brian, who's playing?
As much as I want to say Oregon, I don't think. I know that Indiana's just a well-rounded team. It's all going to come down to Oregon's offensive line on how this game goes, because that was their Achilles heel in the first game. So it'll be down to that. I think Ole Miss gets in out of the other one. Ole Miss is playing backyard football, man. They don't care. They're just throwing up plays, and it's working. And that Georgia Ole Miss game, Ole Miss game was probably the most backyard football game I've ever watched. It was wild.
If they play clean, they got to control their turnovers. If they cannot let Miami get turnovers. If Miami gets turnovers, that's how they win that game. Ole Miss, they go out there and play their game like they did against Georgia. I think they pull away.
I've got Indiana Miami in the championship game.
You think Miami will take Ole Miss?
I do. I really think
Lane
Miami.
Kiffin? Because they don't have Lane Kiffin? Is that right?
See, that's the thing that makes me nervous. Is that they don't have real coaches over there at Ole Miss.
You know, Chambliss is trying to get an extra year. He's really worried about that, getting another year. Golding, as that interim head coach, has done a great job. I take nothing away.
You got a lot of guys that have recommitted.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he named the official head coach though?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Was he?
I thought he was. Okay.
I'm not going to say yes or no. I don't.
I don't believe he has been named the head coach of Ole Miss yet, but I could be wrong. I mean, I try to keep up. Right now with the transfer portal, coaches jumping, this and that, everything else.
NFL coaches jumping, getting fired.
You can't.
I mean,
you
there's
can't
so
check
much
out.
going on.
But we'll see how we come out next week, and we'll see where we're at. But right now, guys, let's jump over to the guys who used to be the only ones getting paid to play football. Now, everybody else is getting paid to play football in the college. Pro football,
By the way,
NFL.
we got the matchups on the back. We got AFC, we got the Patriots and the Cheaters. We got the Jaguars and the Bills. We got the Steelers and the Texans. Then over here we got the Bears and the Packers, the Eagles and the 49ers, Panthers and the Rams. We got the Seahawks waiting for the outcome of that, and the Donkeys over here waiting for their team that's going to beat them out.
Where did you learn to spell?
No, Texas.
There's an E between the K and the Y.
I learned in Texas.
I guess.
And the Dorky Donkeys. Yeehaw!
Anyhow, let's start with this though, guys. Pete Carroll fired from the Raiders. Raheem Morris fired from the Falcons, thank God. Todd Bowles fired from the Buccaneers, I hope.
No, he's not.
I know. I said I hope.
He's not going anywhere.
And John Harbaugh.
Woo! And he's going to the Giants.
Harbaugh?
I hope so. I hope so.
Raiders.
Should have had Sanders with him.
I don't know.
Harbaugh to the Raiders.
Harbaugh to the Giants.
I mean, let's talk about this.
Gruden goes back to the Raiders.
Let's talk about this though.
New ownership.
Harbaugh, did he really deserve to be fired because a kicker can't make a short kick?
You know, he got strapped with Lamar Jackson.
I know.
And, that's their fault.
Mm-hmm.
They should have traded him, and they should have traded Lamar Jackson.
For a kicker.
And definitely got a new kicker. But they kept John. John's a great coach.
Best meme I saw come out of that game was Justin Tucker laying on a massage table watching the game. And it said, Justin Tucker, one final happy ending. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. It was great. He did that. But guys, we've got some very interesting matchups coming out this weekend. And, you know, the Broncos Seahawks, both with a bye, as Jeff explained to us, the Donkers.
Donkeys.
That'll do, donkey.
That'll do.
But the most intriguing two games for me this weekend is the Jaguars and Bills as one of them. And, you know, another meme I saw that I loved showed Mahomes, Lamar, and Burrow. And all it said is, no excuses now, Josh. Because he has none of those three quarterbacks in the playoffs.
You know, that's such a tough game to pick on. I mean, when you look at their defenses, the Bills are the number one defense against the pass. Jaguars are the number two defense against the rush. Mm-hmm. My thing is, I think the Bills win because, well, they don't rely on the rush. They're just going to pass all over. The X factor is the Jags also have the second most interceptions in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes it just such a. I mean, that's the X factor.
I think the guy you're going to see this game come down is Travis Etienne. Etienne has had a good year, not a great year, but a good year running the ball and catching passes out of the backfield. You said the Bills have one of the best pass defenses in the league. Etienne, I think, is going to have a great day rushing on them. I really do, and I think that's where it's going to come down to. I think some of the teams in the league have figured out how to contain Josh Allen. I mean, if you've seen some of the games this year, some of these teams have contained Josh Allen from running the ball. And I think they figured it out. Now, James Cook has had a great year, but I think it's going to come down to Etienne.
Be a great running match between James and Travis.
I think Josh is the player of the game. And then Josh Allen breaks out and starts his playoff run.
Well,
Because then that put him taking out the Donkeys next week.
we'll see. I mean, can Josh do it 3 games in a row on the road? That's the whole key to it. He's got to play
Yeah,
three games.
I don't know about that, but as long as he gets through these first two.
And then you got the Brian Cook game, which he'll be happy no matter which way it goes, the Steelers or the Texans, because he's a fan of both teams,
I am fan of both coaches.
both coaches.
Nico Ryans and Tom, they're two of the best coaches in the league.
Can old man Rodgers get it done, Brian?
I think he can.
You think he can?
I think he can. I think the Steelers defense is finally getting healthy. I think that's going to be a big factor. I think we're going to see Aaron Rodgers step up to that next level now. I think he's just been coasting all year long.
And
I really
who's
do.
back this weekend? DK Metcalf.
That's going to be big. That's
He's
going to be big.
back, and that's going to be huge for him.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Steelers make a run. I would not be surprised.
They very well could. The Texans do come in with a great defense, though. I mean, a great.
They do.
The best.
They do, but I just
I think
trust.
if the Texans get past the Steelers, they have a better chance of making a run. If the Steelers get past the Texans, they're probably done.
I honestly think this game to me comes down to the quarterback play, and I trust Aaron Rodgers more than I do Stroud. That's what it is.
Well, the other AFC game, you got the Chargers and the Patriots. God, let's hope that the Chargers do not win this game.
Absolutely. The cheaters got to go down, and the Patriots are the team to send them there.
Now, the other intriguing matchup happens in the other conference, and Brian, this one's close to you. 12-5 Niners going in, playing the 11-6 Eagles. And, you know, you always talk about how Lincoln Financial Field, it's a tough place to play, but are the Eagles what they have been in the past, or can the Niners take them down in Philly?
I honestly think Philly will end up on top in this game. Not just because of home field advantage. The defense is playing better than what they were in previous games. They're actually starting to give it to Saquon Barkley again. Barkley's starting to play better. And the Niners are just too beat up. They're not going to have Bosa,
They're more healthy now than they were 6 weeks ago.
but they're not going to have Bosa or Fred Warner.
We
So
need them to beat the Eagles.
Eagles will
I
win.
disagree. Philadelphia is 4.5 point favorites, and if you're a betting man, I think you should put the house on the 49ers. Mostly because Eagles offense sucks. Hurts is a bad quarterback. The only X factor that there is the Eagles defense is really good, but their offense is going to be stuck all day.
I would tell you this. If the Eagles go out and try to force the ball to A.J. Brown, they lose this game.
Yes.
He's going to get scared by the second quarter, and he's going to be trying to run the ball. And
Who's going to be
anymore? He's going to quit handing off to the back because that's what he does. He thinks he's got to take the game over because he's a bad quarterback.
Honestly, who's going to be pressuring him? They don't have Bosa. They don't have Warner. Who's going to be pressuring?
Great backfield. The guys will have time to get there.
If you give Hurts time with the play action, that game's over. That game is over.
You give Hurts all day long, and he'll still make a bad decision because that's who he is.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Two Super Bowls, MVP.
He didn't have 2 Super Bowls. He only had 1.
He's
the old man had to come in and finish it for him.
He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's got 1 MVP. And he legitimately outplayed Mahomes in the first Super Bowl. So, okay. He did.
But I'm just saying, Brian, if they try to force the ball to AJ, they're going to be in trouble.
I agree with you.
That's what I'm saying there. If he looks for everybody, if he looks for Devontae, if he looks for AJ and Goddard, it's going to be a good game. If they're trying to force it downfield to A.J. Brown like they did there for about 4 or 5 weeks, I think that's going to be a downfall for Philadelphia.
The winning, you guys are missing the point. The winning philosophy in this game is running backs. Who is better, Saquon Barkley or CMC? The one who produces better wins the game for their team. Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley.
No.
It all comes down to those two. Forget about Hurts. Forget about the injuries in San Francisco.
The reason that you're wrong is because neither team hands the ball, lets those two ride. Neither team uses them as
70%.
That's not true. That's not true. CMC's had the ball so much this year.
Yeah.
He's
everything. Stayed healthy the whole year.
Yeah, he's been out there.
Well, let's move on.
Is anybody believe in the Bears to make a run in the playoffs?
Me. In fact, I couldn't win the Super Bowl against the Texans. Why? Because of coaching. Folks, coaching. Ben Johnson is a real deal, much like Kurt Cizzini of Indiana. Okay? Ben Johnson and DeMeco Ryans are 2 of the best coaches in the NFL. They will meet up in the Super Bowl. Chicago and Houston. There's my Super Bowl pick.
Fans learned the little guy was not available to come in for comedy time tonight, so we had Brian Cook come in and give us a comedy routine there. Brian, you were going to say something.
I could see the Bears making a run. It's just I honestly don't see anybody beating Seattle right now. I just don't. Seattle looks really good. They're playing good ball. They have home field advantage. It's going to be hard to go up there to Seattle and beat them. I right now out of the NFC, my favorite is Seattle.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I don't think the Bears get by Green Bay. I think Green Bay beats them this weekend. Caleb Williams never been in the playoffs.
When I picked this, I picked the Bears, right? But my X factor was that Love has experience and pulls it together. Mm-hmm. That would be the X factor for Green Bay winning that game.
If Michael Parsons was healthy, this wouldn't even be a contest. But DeAndre Swift is still a decent running back. Some of those young receivers are stepping up. Ruther Burton's had some good games lately. I don't know. I think Love, Josh Jacobs, and the Packers, I think they'll find a way to get it done at Soldier Field before the Bears become the Northern Indiana Bears next year or a couple years.
And you guys keep talking about Chicago and the Texans and them going to the playoff or going to the Super Bowl. What? The Rams haven't come out of any of you guys' mouths.
No,
They haven't got to it.
bad coach. I'm telling you, overrated
Bad
coaches.
coach.
The number one overrated coach in the NFL is Sean McVay. Rides on the coattails of Daddy. Daddy made the McVay name real. Sean McVay is a good offensive coordinator. He is not a good.
Which is why
head
his
coach.
teams have been top 3 offenses in the league for the last, 4 years?
You know how many games they lost? Oh yeah, all the media stroking done with Sean McVay. Right now, I'm telling you right now, LA loses in the playoffs because of coaching decisions. They lost some games.
Well, they don't lose to the Panthers.
Right,
They walk the Panthers.
Yeah.
They got 11 first round
If
bye.
Packers win, then it's a Rams-Packers matchup. If we 49ers,
No. If the Packers win, they play the Seahawks. Lowest seeded team plays the highest seeded team.
Yeah.
Over.
oh, okay. Well, they're the 5 seed.
Right, but I'm saying that the Packers win, they're the 7th seed, so they would go to Seattle.
And then they
And
win.
then,
They play the winner of the 49er Eagles.
Yeah. Which last year in the playoffs, the Rams are the team that gave the Eagles the most problems in that snow game last year. But I don't know. I think the NFC is going to come out of the NFC West right now. I mean, Seahawks, Niners, Rams, that division was so tough this year. And, like Brian said earlier, the Seahawks look very good. So before we get into other things, now that we know I know we all made our predictions at the beginning of the year. Neither one of my 2 teams are left.
No, mine are.
Chiefs, Commanders. They're both gone. Now, I thought we were saying what 2 teams are for sure going to have a top 10 pick in next year's draft. And I didn't want to go obvious Giants, Raiders. So I took a couple teams and hey, I got it right. Brian, who was your pick? Eagles, Chiefs?
Eagles Chiefs was my original pick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was your original pick?
I went Cincinnati and the Bills. No,
They could have.
Cincinnati beating the Bills, and then I don't remember.
Lions.
Yeah, Lions.
Brian, you weren't here for the original picks,
But 5 weeks ago, I chose the same 2 teams even before the playoffs were even decided. Bears and Texans. 5 weeks ago, I said those 2 teams would be in the Super Bowl because of their coaches. I'm a coach's guy. I love good coaches. And I miss good coaches. We're not seeing it anymore in Nebraska. I'm sorry.
what about Vrabel?
Vrabel is a great coach. Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, those 2 guys, one of those 2 better win Coach of the Year. D'Amico Ryans better go right behind him. The Seattle coaching staff is outstanding. Seattle's coaching staff has got it going. Kyle Shanahan, with what he's had to work with, great coach. Jacksonville's coach. Really
Liam Cohen. Yeah.
He has really surprised me.
He was the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia last year, wasn't he?
No, he came from
Tampa.
the Rams. He came from the Rams, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he did that in 1 year.
Yeah. That was a big turnaround.
What about Sean Payton?
He's one of the best coaches of all time.
Oh my God, no. If your first name is Sean and you're coaching, you're overrated, your media stroke.
Stop it.
The media is going to stroke them till
Sean Payton's one of the
ESPN,
better
thank you
coaches
very
of all
much.
time. The thing about him, though, is he cheats. And he got caught. And he'll never live that down.
His quarterback and defense in New Orleans won him that Super Bowl. Wasn't coaching.
Okay, that's Bears Texans. You can write that down. Brian Denton, who you taking? Super Bowl this year out of what's left. Playoffs.
I'm actually sticking with our
Ah.
pick. I'm sticking with my pick from 5 weeks ago. I picked the Seahawks Broncos.
Okay.
Right now, that looks very good.
I think them 2 teams with home field advantage. Denver's only got 1 loss at home this year, and that was the Jacksonville. Seattle has just been battle tested. I don't see them losing to anybody else in that NFC.
And Brian moved over to Colorado, and now he's got that orange shit in his face. Now he's got a new girlfriend that's a Broncos fan. And he's got his buddy that works with him, is that guy. He's a Broncos fan. He's just a follower. He's just a follower.
No,
All right, Jeff.
that
Who you taking?
Wow. Patriots.
Good coach. They 1 year took Mike Vrabel. Talking about 1 year for Jacksonville, 1 year for Mike Vrabel and Patriots.
Rams.
they should have hired Vrabel right after Belichick. Is what they should have done.
Yeah, they should have. What do you think people in Tennessee are doing right now to their owner? You lost Mike
Right.
Vrabel from Tennessee. Where do they wind up? That's like hiring Bill Callahan to coach Nebraska. Very bad choices. Of course, Steve Peterson was a genius.
That would have been such a bad choice if
He had a defensive coordinator.
if they would have kept Bo Pelini and tied him up with Callahan.
No.
That
Callahan
would
was
not
a-
have been a bad deal.
Callahan was an offensive-minded coach, and he could recruit. He's the guy that recruited Indomitian.
No. Great line coach is what Bill Callahan was. Great.
Yeah.
But when fans, back 20 years ago, when fans were cheering for they loved that first pass in the red game, red and white game.
Yeah.
And they're cheering to see this ball passed. I'm thinking, be careful what you're cheering for. You might just regret it. 20 years later, where's Nebraska at now? Where's the fullback? Where's the running
The
game?
fullback's not coming back, and that ain't the problem.
I'm sorry.
That's never been the problem.
It has been a
That is
problem.
not the fullback's not the problem. You got to stop that.
Mac-
The line is definitely the problem.
Yeah.
And you're right about that. That's where they won. But the fullback, that's not a problem. That body can be better used in other positions. That's why they took him away. That's why no one uses him.
Right.
Because the slot is way more important. And you can get a decent sized slot that can come back and do max protection and make that block for you.
It's not all about blocking. It's about
That's
running
all a fullback
up the
is
middle
for.
too. Fullbacks run up the middle, set and sucks the defense in. That's when you pass. That's what Tom Osborne and Barry Switzer showed me years ago. A
We
fullback
learned the wishbone
establishes.
and the triple options. And then speed came on defense. And changes had to be made.
Do you not remember Warren Sapp
I do remember.
gasping for air
Yeah.
for his Miami Thugs?
I do remember it. But the reason why that we were still effective is because we were also a decent passing
We
team.
weren't because the run set up the pass.
That's
the
right.
defense had to suck in to stop the run, and Tom Osborne knew that. Throw over the defense.
And we didn't run the power out. We ran the I-back formation at that
Brian,
time.
you ready to hear my Super Bowl pick?
Yes, I'm ready to hear your Super Bowl
Just
pick.
because I like being different. You are going to see the Aaron Rodgers Bowl between the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers
Oh,
in
my
the
God.
Super Bowl. The last time those two teams met in the Super Bowl, Rodgers played for the Packers and beat Big Ben and the Steelers. This year,
That would be fun.
That would be a
Aaron
interesting.
Rodgers takes the Steelers over the Packers in the Super Bowl.
The third best quarterback in Green Bay history, going up against the fourth best quarterback in Green Bay
Well, that's
history.
because Green Bay's only had four quarterbacks since
I know.
1960.
Who's the other two? Bart
Bart
Starr
Starr,
and
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre, the two best quarterbacks in Green. Third best,
What about Lynn Dickey?
Lynn Dickey. No.
Biggie.
What
I-
about Aaron McCall,
I still-
Magic Man?
Well, he was good.
I still,
I know. You said Biggie again.
I
I'm
take,
sorry I'm so immature.
I can take Cameron
It
Dicker.
just makes me
The
smile.
kicker. What's that, Brian?
I take Aaron Rodgers any day as a Green Bay Packer over any of them guys. Any
Over
of them.
Bart Starr, are you kidding me? 2 Super Bowls, running quarterback, he took lumps. Brett Favre had the attitude, the leadership that Aaron
Brett
Rodgers
Favre was fun to watch.
Favre was
And his
He
teammates
was.
loved him. Aaron Rodgers is a different guy.
But also, the whole time Aaron Rodgers was there, he had one top 10 defense. One. and his organization never helped him out ever. When did they ever?
Brett Favre fought the same thing. They didn't have defense for him either.
They had better defense than Aaron Rodgers had.
Minister of Defense. But I'm going to prove a point to Brian Cook down there talking about Bart Starr. Now, Starr was a good quarterback. Take nothing away from him. He was good. He won the first 2 Super Bowls ever played against a young AFL organization that hadn't been around that long and wasn't as established. Plus, Jim Taylor and Paul Hornung were his 2 running backs, and the Packers ran the ball. Ran the ball, and they ran it some more. And then he would every now and then throw a pass to Max McGee or Carroll Dale or whoever he wanted to, and they were usually open.
You couldn't throw the ball very deep back then, right?
You didn't have to.
But there was rules against it,
No.
wasn't there?
No. It just, those guys couldn't throw the ball deep because they weren't used to it.
I know.
But
That was back when they were smoking cigarettes and shit on the sideline.
oh yeah.
Tough man.
But that's like saying that a Lions quarterback with Barry Sanders was really good when all he had to do was turn around and hand it off to Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders, the best running back in the NFL history, because Emmitt Smith had a great offensive line. Barry Sanders did not. What Sanders did, he earned it. What did he do when he crossed the end zone? Did he dance? No, he handed the football off to the referee, showed class. Barry Sanders was classiest running back, and there's been some great running backs in the NFL, but Barry Sanders top my list.
He's number 2 on mine.
Oh, who's number 1?
Mike Allstott.
Mike Allstott. Tough guy, Mike Allstott.
Yep, and he was there Saturday to fire the cannon before the game started, and they won, and then they lost because Saints got beat.
Talk about the weirdest situation I've ever seen ever at the end of the year. That it came down to them 2 games, but even though that Tampa Bay won, they still didn't get in because Atlanta won. All because Atlanta beat the Rams.
The week before. I know.
Yeah.
And who would have ever thought that Atlanta was going to beat I think that's a team to watch out for next year once they've got a good coach.
Good coach.
And, if they get a good coach, because you've got what I consider
They got to do the team.
probably the best running back in the league right now.
Bijan
Robinson, who is an animal. He can catch, he can run, he can do it all. But they'd get down inside the 20 and he'd bring Algier in. And Algier's okay.
That's because Bijan is from Texas and they're soft.
I honestly, let's just eliminate Baltimore because they're stupid. So let's just eliminate that. Atlanta's the best job in football right now that's open.
Very
No, the Giants is the best job open.
Because of Dak?
Because of Dak, because of Scatterboo, because of Neighbors, because of the best defensive line in the NFC.
Jeff, what was their record?
They had injuries and a bad coach.
Okay, but Atlanta's got the pieces in place. All they need is a quarterback, honestly.
Yeah.
I will say this. I would take the Giants defense over the Falcons defense.
I will give you that, but I wouldn't take the offense over. If you're taking
Really?
Scatterboo's good.
Jackson
Dart is a better quarterback than Penix or Cousins.
Absolutely.
Your team, Jeff, this is how stupid your team is. They're actually talking about trading Jackson Dart and picking up a quarterback in this draft.
That is a rumor full of shit. They will not do that. That will never come to happen. You were talking that shit about them getting Sudur last year, and as that turned out, no way we were doing that.
Now,
by the way, the next coach of the Browns will be
Deion Sanders.
Yes, it will.
Now, I am going to say this unequivocally. At the end of the season, Shador didn't look as horrible as I thought he was going to.
He did
Didn't
improve.
look as bad as I thought he was going to. I didn't say he looked good. I thought he was going to come in, fall flat on his freaking face.
The thing that helps him right now is he got humbled.
Yeah.
And he took on a different persona. I mean, yeah, this is not the kid that walked in thinking he was going to be the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
This is not that kid anymore.
Right.
He got slapped around. He got beat down over and over again. They kept shoving him to the back of the line because of his attitude. They didn't want it, and they made it clear to him. And he asked to be traded, and they put him up. Mm-hmm. No one bit.
Yep.
No one bit. He knows where he's at, and he knows the only way to get out of this
is to play good
and keep his mouth shut.
Yep.
You know what though? I have to give it to him. Over the last 5 weeks or so of the season, he showed some toughness. I will give him that.
Well, he showed toughness in Colorado. I mean, he was the most sacked quarterback in the NCAA. That's 134 teams.
Yeah.
He got hit the most. He had a cracked back 2 years ago at the end of the season.
He's a tough kid.
I mean, Nebraska, we beat the shit out of him. We sacked him 6 times and knocked him to the ground 11 times total. I mean...
Because he watched the Minnesota-Nebraska game this year and felt sorry for Raiola.
Yeah, he did.
I will say this. And
we all did.
I know Gabriel came from Oregon, Brian, but I thought Shador looked better as the Browns quarterback than Dylan Gabriel did. And I'm not so sold on Gabriel ever being an NFL starting quarterback.
No, and I said that when they went to start him. I was like, he's not an NFL quarterback. He's not going to be.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, lefties just don't pan out in the NFL. They just don't. There's only been one.
Who?
And that's Steve Young was lefty, right?
Boomer Esiason, so was Ken Stabler.
Yeah, okay, but let's be real. Let's be real, though. Steve Young's the only one that stands out, in my opinion. Did we lose you? Oh, no.